Restaurants. This business is again an important business, and it has certain areas where unethical actions can be taken, unethical practices can be there, which need to be avoided. Uh, the obvious one is that obviously when food stuff is being served, it should not be haram, it should not be prohibited, it should be halal food. No liquor, no alcohol, no pork, no meat which is from animals that have not been sacrificed in the name of God. However, uh, these important, obvious matters aside, sometimes the quality of food is compromised by restaurant owners deliberately to bring the cost down and generate greater profits. Obviously, it's something which is absolutely unethical and unacceptable. There should be no compromise on the quality of food, not just to make sure that the business is flourishing, but also to make sure that the health of the people who come to consume food is not compromised, is not at stake. The unfortunate happenings some time ago wherein the food of donkey was served instead of that of goats and other animals which people expect to be served. This is something which really is totally unacceptable and needs to be avoided. Likewise, there is this area of cleanliness, hygiene, which should be taken seriously, because it causes people to be taken ill. Diseases spread across because of poor quality of food or poor hygienic conditions. So wherever the food is being cooked and is being served, the people who are involved themselves should be clean, and the manner this whole process takes place, the places where it takes place should all be clean to minimize the possibility that germs and other health-threatening ingredients they get into the bodies of those who are coming to these restaurants. So that again is an ethical issue which a responsible owner, manager has to make sure that these expectations are not compromised. There is another important area where there is an ethical issue when it comes to restaurant business. Quite often, the food that is served to the people is not fully consumed. In many cases, people take the food that is left over to their own homes to consume later. But quite often, there is a lot of food which remains unconsumed and just goes to the garbage, is wasted, which is something, again, very unethical, more particularly in societies where there is poverty, hunger, people are suffering, there are children who are deprived of food, and yet there are places where food goes completely wasted. For that purpose, it is important that the restaurant owners take it upon themselves that they would make sure that no food is going to be wasted. Whatever is available is going to be distributed amongst the poor people of the surroundings as quickly as possible before it gets rotten. And obviously, it is important that rotten food or food whose life of consumption has expired should neither be served to the customers who come to consume food, nor should they be distributed to the poor people. So it really has to be a swift action taken immediately after the consumption of food is over in restaurants and the day is off, that the food should be distributed to the poor people. And there are now some individuals and NGOs who are engaged in the task of picking it from the restaurants and delivering it to the poor people. And obviously all restaurants should lend a helping hand to all such noble causes that are taking place in our society.